Flat of British, subscriber channel, me speaking. Good anarchy. Let's crack on. I'm not sure if you can actually hear this because I'm using this software, so I don't know. It's pretty cool anyway. I hope you can hear this. Awesome. Right, so today, not very long ago, I just got an answer come into my head, but about this very thing. But let's first find out why probably most of you haven't actually understood what's going on. So we've got maritime law. Okay, maritime law, it's what our language is all based on, what our thinking is all based on what our indoctrination is all based on. Okay, and probably you know the word currency. Currency. So it's like between two banks, you've got currency. That's sort of the language that we use because that's just our indoctrination. But physically, in between the two banks, when you've got currents or currencies going through banks, stuff like that, it's all about movement. It's all about the force of nature. It's all about moving. Yeah, and so that's our mentality. When we think about energy, when we think about success, it's all about power. It's all about strength. It's all about movement. It's all part of it. But what I got today was that when we was looking at these machines of the past, okay, for example, I think I've got it. Let's go to extra large. Extra large. And we've looked at these in the past. We can tell that there's a form to these structures. You can tell that there's a form to these structures, that they seem to be almost kind of like channeling down into these columns and stuff like that. We know that these buildings existed before the church did, that they simply just walked in and said, oh yeah, yeah, these are our houses of worship, and they all worship God and stuff, and they put their little Jesuses and crosses and whatever saints and priests and all stuff all over the place. But these were around long before they were there, and from what actually remains, the actual structure itself, which you can't really hide, yeah, you can see, you can see that something's going on, you know. Um, I mean, they call these excuse me, places of worship and stuff like that. Yeah, but when did you ever see a chimney on a church? Yeah, I mean, these places were not meant to house people. It's as simple as that. There's nothing in the architecture, nothing. There's no, sort of toilets. There's no canteen. As I said, there's no fireplace. There's no church, and these buildings are massive, and you've got a lot of people in there, and if you're in the northern hemisphere in winter, well, you're just going to freeze your nuts off. You know, I don't care how many candles you light, along the sides of the building, it's just not going to be warm. You're going to be absolutely freezing. So it's quite clear that these buildings were not meant as a kind of, I don't know, meeting place for people to meet for whatever reason, religious or not. Nevertheless, you know, Martin and I have been looking into like the architecture, and we can see that previously that these buildings definitely had some kind of an energy function as such. And for the most part, for the buildings that we've seen, the actual ground level is anything between 15 to 20 feet higher than what it should be. So, for example, we're looking at this interior of the building here, but the ground level originally, when this building was constructed, or this machine was constructed, the ground level here was at least 20 feet lower as well. So that would lead you to think, well, we know that these were some kind of a machine, that it was something to do with nature, it was something one way or another, whether it was to enhance the health of mankind or whatever it was, we don't really know. But you're just going to have to. The next train of thought is surely that what's been covered over is probably the most integral part to understanding what the function of these machines initially were. Yeah, and the fact that it's like maybe 15 to 20 feet higher, the actual workings of this construct was actually below ground level. Yeah, and the reason being, again, going back to this, because this is our language. Yeah, this is our thought process. This is our indoctrination. It's all about movement. It's all about the incrementation of energy and strength, momentum. It's just part of everything in society. It's all about productivity. It's all about movement. Yeah. But what I got today, yeah, is that these buildings, yeah, there isn't machinery, ancient machinery beneath the new ground level that we see today. It's not what it was. It's all static energy. Um, and this picture here, this was my first. I had the thought, yeah, about static energy, yeah, energy, just things, construct, things in nature, that don't move, that have a purpose, that produce a something. Yeah. So I got the thought, and this is a representation of the picture that was in my mind. Okay? Now, there's no great movement going on here in this image that you can see. Yeah, but this is pumping out oxygen all over the place, all over, and that's only one thing that I know. There's probably a lot more to it, um, but nevertheless, there it is. It's static energy, and when we look at these ancient machines, these constructs, and the way that they're constructed, if only my internet would hurry up, it's exactly the same. These are channeling natural energy between the earth and the sky. Yeah. I mean, you can look at these pillars and you can think, well, okay, well there might be some iron going through everything, and indeed, some of these constructs that have been intentionally tried to be destroyed through the First and Second World War and before that as well, because of the secrets that they declare merely just by their existence. I mean, these buildings are a gospel as such within themselves. They're telling you what they are and what their functions were. And so, of course, they've made up wars so that you can, get rid of these kind of buildings to destroy them. But nevertheless, yes, some of them do have iron uh, uh, struck. Poles, iron poles, stuff like that, which actually do conduct electricity, or even something else. That is true. But equally, it's true that a lot of these also don't have that. Yeah. So when you look at it and you think, well, this is clearly a machine, I can see that by its form. Yeah, because there's just no other explanation for why it appears as it does. Uh, you can't get past the fact, well, I can't see any machinery. I can't see how exactly it would work. And but what it is, it's a static type of energy. That's what they were being used for. It's not about movement. It's not about a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering mass, gathering weight, gathering strength, gathering power. It's not what it is. This is similar to this tree. It's very similar in a sense that it's in the ether and it's also buried in the earth as well. And that's exactly what these are in the same way. But of course, the only difference is what might be commonly mistaken as sort of like ornate decoration is not ornate decoration. It's all somehow channeling. These are all like relays and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, if we just go back to Martin's video about the volute pump, you know, it's it's no coincidence. This is no coincidence. So you've got a pillar supporting a plane or whatever it is, yeah, and there is a static transference of energy, yeah, and this form, which is static, is just as good as this move. Let's just go a little bit forward to the machine. Yeah, so here we can see that, in the world that we know, the world that we're familiar with, comfortable with, we can navigate with because we've been indoctrinated with the skills to navigate through. This we can recognise this, we can relate to this, we can say, yeah, I can understand the science behind it, I can understand blah 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 blah. But then if you go to that model and you try and apply it to this static model, it doesn't work. But again, it's just our indoctrination because our our language, our thought processes, our indoctrination is built upon maritime and admiralty law. Yeah, currency, strength, but it's not how it works. At least in the ancient days. Yeah. So again, we can't see anything moving here. Yeah. So we're looking for machines. We're looking for some kind of contraption that fits in here that somehow connects with these so that there's movement, there's force, there's a reaction. Yeah. But that's not what these were. That's not how they worked. It was static energy, It's static construction. It's a completely different high ancient technology. Again, let's just another one. Let's just ignore that. So I just popped up this dictionary, the definition of static. 1. Exerting force by reason of weight alone without motion. So that's kind of like a 50-50, isn't it? It's like 50 without motion. Yeah. So it's exerting force without motion. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But then you've got everything that we know, we've been taught, and we think that we understand the world. Yeah. Which says exerting force by reason of weight. Yeah. It's movement. Number 2, or of relating to bodies at rest or forces in equilibrium. Yeah, that could be another key. I haven't thought about that. That wasn't part of the thing that came into my mind. But yes, at rest or forces in equilibrium. So, if you think about this, okay, the tree's gone. I've closed the tab. But, the tree, yeah, it's in equilibrium, isn't it? Earth and sky. It's working between the two. It exists in the ether, it exists in the earth. Equilibrium, a transference between the two. But static transference. Let's go back. So 3, showing little change, a static population. I don't even know what that means. 4, characterized by a lack of movement, animation, or progression, producing an effect or repose or quiescence. A static design. Well, we've definitely got some static design here, haven't we? That's static design. Yeah, static design, static energy. Yeah, earth energy. Standing in one place. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick little post just to say that this is the next key in understanding the ancient technology and how it worked. Okay, so just a quickie, and thanks, Martin. See you next time.